Hello, everybody. Again, Alma Rivera speaking to you from South Africa. I am the instructor here, and today I'm speaking to beautiful Sandy Pedegana, or Sands Pedegana, who is a prolific PSYCH-K facilitator. Sands, tell us a little bit, how did PSYCH-K find you?
Alma, I found PSYCH-K in 2010. I was introduced to it by somebody else who had done a workshop. And so I did my first workshop, I think in 2011, with the gorgeous Robin Graham. I was very blessed to have her as my first instructor. Yes, and I must say, I have loved it. It has just been a game changer for life.
How did you come across PSYCH-K though, before that?
Well, actually, I had gone for a session with somebody who had done the workshop. So through Liesl Tevisham, she was actually an EFT instructor at the time. And so I went for a PSYCH-K session with her. And I just found that it shifted so much quicker and easier. So for me, it really is a tool for transforming your programming. It gets to that deep, deep level, which I just found was so necessary. But in a simple and gentle way. It honestly just allows you to find your authentic truth and to then discover what is and isn't real for you and your personality, your life, and things like that. So I just found it hit the nail a lot faster than other things that I had tried in the past.
Yeah, and that is truly so.
Yeah.
And very sustainable as well, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
sustainable. So here's the question then. If you had to describe in a nutshell, what is PSYCH-K in your words?
For me, it really is a tool which allows a person to change the programming that they have grown up with easily and gently. It allows you to basically switch out things that don't serve you and to put in the beliefs that actually will sustain your life.
So for people who don't know about beliefs and how we grow up, can you, in a very short 30 seconds, just tell us what are those beliefs that you're talking about? How do we know that they're even there?
Well, the beliefs are the things that you just automatically think. So you grow up in families or with caregivers who have their own beliefs, and without knowing it, you just absorb those. You don't question whether they're true or false until you come of age and you start sort of pushing boundaries or thinking for yourself, or even for a lot of people, they suddenly have an education that their parents didn't have. So you're able to sort of realize, oh, you know what? I actually don't believe that all people are bad and that you can only find good people now and again. And or that work has to be hard. You can't enjoy it. You have to slave at it until the end of time. Those are all other people's beliefs. You can enjoy your work. You can enjoy people of all cultures, nationalities, countries. It's just beautiful. But unless you understand that it's a belief and you have the ability to change it, you will just carry on running a program that possibly isn't your own.
Okay, thank you. Beautifully said. So, how has your life changed on a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual level?
Gosh, you know, Alma, as a parent, PSYCH-K has just been such a go-to tool. Personally, for myself, I've shifted weight, I've shifted allergies. For kids, my kids, bullying instances, learning disabilities, gluten intolerance. I mean, my son was deaf until he was 4 based on a gluten intolerance, but it actually came down to a belief that was instilled at the time of his birth. So, gosh, I have been blessed to just be able to transform so many just personal nuggets within our own family, it's such a blessing. I just wish this upon all families, especially moms.
Yeah, well, everybody and moms, yeah. And so what would you say to someone who is not sure about embarking on this PSYCH-K path?
I say jump in, go gently, take a few sessions with a facilitator, and get the experience of it. And then once you understand a little bit and get an experience of how it works, then if you're wanting to take it further, then I think go definitely deeper and learn it and go fully in, because there's so much that you gain out of a workshop. But I even found that one of the things I did find after taking all the workshops that I've done, that having a buddy from the workshops that you check in with monthly is one of the best things that you can do. You can do so much work with PSYCH-K for yourself, with yourself, but every now and again, you just need that other perspective, which is invaluable. And so I highly recommend that.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to ask you, what would you say to people who's done the workshop, who is planning to do the workshop, what to do afterwards?
Afterwards, definitely find someone you resonate with in the group and do a monthly check-in, have statements that you want to balance, chat things through with each other, what's working for you, what's not working for you. And sometimes it just helps them, you might have a statement that you're struggling with and you feel like you've switched the belief, you've instilled it, you've done the goal change, but it's still not coming out the way you want it. And just another person's perspective or their wording even, you just switch it a little bit and you then can put the new belief in with just slightly different wording and you'll notice that things change again.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a compounding. It's like a building on top of
yes,
as you go.
Yeah, I found that as well, that I definitely need to check in with somebody else from time to time, because we're not islands, are we? We are social beings, and different people's perspectives always helps us. So just to come back, because we've got a little bit more time, you were saying saying a goal statement and a belief. Can you just explain in your own words, what is the goal statement? Because remember, people watching this don't know the language. So what would a goal statement be?
All right. So I think let's just take a personal one. For me, one of the things that I really struggled with growing up was to be visible. I was always told that kids are to be seen and not heard. You never interrupt a parent. And I mean, I still believe that in a way, like treat your elders with respect, don't interrupt conversations. But I mean, I really feel now, I wouldn't interrupt a conversation with anybody, but you have a voice. And there's a time and a place for everybody's voice, whether you are extrovert or whether you're introvert. And I think one of the highlights for me was I learned that I am an introvert, but I have a lot to say. So my belief was originally that it wasn't safe to be seen and heard, because when I was vocal, I would be shouted down. So I had to change my belief to my new goal statement was, it is safe for me to be seen and heard and valued. So I had to come at that from a couple of different aspects. So not only is it safe for me to be seen and heard, I know intrinsically when it's appropriate for me to speak. I can stand in front of a crowd and present myself authentically. There were a lot of goal statements that I had to come at that particular issue with. It wasn't just one. Sort of standing up in front of a crowd and doing a presentation would have terrified the life out of me. So I had to actually learn to, be able to say, goal statements. I can stand in front of a crowd and present myself authentically. I can speak my truth. I am heard. Just little things like that. Those are your statements. But you just have to sometimes word them in various ways.
Yes. And then just very quickly before we give you your details so people can connect with you. And then I've just lost my train of thought. Just give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
I've got it. What, if you had to describe the PSYCH-K process, is it laborious? Do we have to engage in hours and hours of repeating the statement or whatever it is that people want to call it? What has been your, how does it work?
My experience. No, my experience of it is that it's actually really simple and really gentle. And I think the simplicity of it shocks people. They sort of think, was that it? Am I done? But when you retest the body and the statement is testing strong, then you know that the belief is instilled, and then the action must just be taken upon that. I would say that the longest that I've ever had a person take in a session for one particular belief was about 15 minutes. They really struggled, and it had a lot to do with even things that had happened to them while they were in utero. Obviously, a very traumatic upbringing and things like that. So their timeline to actually switch the beliefs that we were working on, it took 15 minutes, which I think was the longest that has ever taken a single belief for one of my clients.
Yeah, and normally that would take years and years. No. Thank you so much, Sands.
Pleasure.
And just tell us where people can find you and how they can connect with you. Because this is the time when we have time to work with our issues. And I really ask people to connect with Sands. She's a beautiful facilitator. So tell us how they can.
Thank you, Alma. Thanks. I do have a website. It is www.free2bu.co.za, and the 2 is the number. And my email is the same. It's sands@free2bu.co.za. And I am listed on the PSYCH-K website, the international website listing as well.
Preferred
as a preferred facilitator, yes. Yeah.
Yes, wonderful. So go and look for Sands and change your life. This is the time.
Great.
Thank you so much, Sands.
Thanks, Alma.
Really love talking to you.
You too. Lovely to see you again.
Yes. Keep well.
Okay.
Bye.
Yes, you too. Bye.